Greetings, everyone. Peace and blessings. I'm back with another review. This one is on Bettie Jo Elmore, My 600-Pound Life. You already know me. If you watch my videos, you know how I roll. Before I even get into the review, I start off with a couple things I want to say and address. I would just like to say that I made a promise. Well, not really a promise, but I had set a goal that I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. I was not able to fulfill it. Okay. In one of my previous videos, I can't even remember which one, but it was a My 600-Pound Life review. Okay. I had stated that I had set a goal for myself to get out a certain amount of reviews by that following Wednesday, and I just have not been able to do that because I really thought I was going to be able to do it because I had a couple of days off, which is rare for me because I'm always really busy. And I figured, okay, I can just take these couple of days to get these reviews out, the ones that are requested and the ones that just need to be done, because I have with the new season starting in just a few months, I didn't want to overcrowd with doing every week there's a review for every new episode and these old reviews all at this, all at the same time. I wanted to get the older ones out of the way, and then just as soon as the new season started, I'd be ready to just go ahead and rock and roll. But I took those couple of days to just sleep. I got a few videos out, but I just laid around, I lounged around, I watched TV, I ate like a fat girl. I'm not even gonna lie. And I relaxed and I slept a lot of that time because I'm usually every damn day I'm busy doing something. It's not school, it's working. So I would just like to say that I apologize if anybody was looking for an abundant amount of reviews like I said I was going to do. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it. When your body, when you're tired, your body will just shut down, period. Aside from eating as much as I wanted, which thank God it doesn't go to my hips. Thank God. I wanted to go to other places. Just not my hips, okay? So eating the way that I wanted and lounging around watching TV, I felt was well deserved. Nursing instructor rides my ass. And, I'm assisted living facility, which is my job. Alzheimer's patients and memory care and dementia, all that shit will keep you on your toes. So I barely have any downtime at work, which in this industry you should, but it's rare. Okay. So, all right. I just wanted to get that out the way. I want to explain, what this was about. I'm doing everything in my power to try to keep my word with stuff. If I get a request, if I fuck with you like that, if you're a subscriber that is active and you always comment, you interact, and I will fulfill your request, even if I'm too tired to do it. I will make sure I get that video out for you because you're part of this channel. So I want to be, I feel like that's the least I could do. Okay. So moving on, I'd like to get on to this episode here about Bettie Jo. Let me get that out the way. Okay. So Bettie Jo Elmore, she's 24 years old. She's from Missouri. I can't remember which part, but she's from Missouri. I think I wrote that part down. I didn't write that down. Just that she's from Missouri. Okay. We start off with the first scene. Her husband, Josh, helps her take a shower. She admits that he is being her caregiver takes away from the intimacy that they could have in the marriage. Well, not only that, it's also because you're over 600 pounds. I find it hard to believe that these people are having sex at that size. They talk about how much there's no intimacy because he's my caregiver, or she's my care. It's more to it than that. It's your size plays a significant role. Your size plays a pivotal role. I mean, you're little as Josh is. Certain positions sexually, she would have crushed the man. And I'm not saying that to be funny or not funny, even though it is, to me it is funny, but they wouldn't have had no real intimacy as far as anything, physical like that. They would have been, enjoyable until she lost some motherfucking weight. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so moving forward, and this right here, I had to give her the utmost respect for, because she was honest. Let me tell you about me. I'm somebody that, if you real with me, if you keep it 100 with me, or if you just real in general, I can't do anything but respect it. I may respect your honesty. Doesn't mean I won't detest what you're being honest about, if you're being honest about some bullshit. But even if I don't like your honesty, I have to respect it, because you have so many people out here in this world that bullshit for absolutely no reason at all. And then you have people that bullshit because they have a reason. They have, intent. But this woman was honest when she made the statement. And I said all that just to get to this one statement that she said. This is exactly what she said, word for word. Sometimes I wonder, do I really love him? Or sometimes I wonder, am I with him because he takes care of me? Honesty. Honesty right there for your ass. Honesty. Honesty for that ass, okay? She was real. And you don't get too many cast members on this show that have caretakers that are their significant other that makes that statement, that will admit that. She was real, okay? And I can't fault her for that. She didn't know. It's almost kind of like she was saying, am I just using this man because he takes care of me? Or am I really, really in love with him? She was struggling to figure that out. Really, I think it might have been a combination of both. Okay? I think that, yeah, she totally enjoyed the fact that he was her caretaker. There's a lot of things that was too hard for her to do, she didn't have to do, he would do it. But also, there was some love probably in there too, because I think she fell in love with him and he fell in love with her before she even got to 600 pounds. She was always big, but before she got to 600 pounds, I think there was, when she was still active and able to do things, I think that there was some love there. Some love had come out of it at some point, okay? Before she got to the point where she had eaten herself to immobility, All right, so, Betty Joe, her cousin comes over, Billy Joe, and visits with her and talks to her about her weight, and basically just, Josh is an enabler for her. The cousin says the truth. Yeah, she tells the truth. He's an enabler, and we all know that. From the very beginning, let me say about this episode. From the very beginning, I could just tell. Sometimes with the way an episode starts out, if you're good at reading things, or if reading things is just what you do, you can tell from the beginning of a show, the way they act throughout the beginning of the episode, you can pretty much predict how the episode is going to end, and what's going to go on throughout the rest of the episode. I could tell from the very beginning, very beginning, before Josh, the husband, even started admitting that he wanted to be needed, I already knew that. I already could tell. Because Dr. Now brought up a good point. I'm going to get a little bit more in depth to that later on in this video, but I'm going to speak on it a little bit right now. Dr. Now spoke on that. He says, She's large, but he isn't. He probably wants her to be large. Yeah. Yeah. This couple, you got different type of couples and different type of situations, cast members on the show. This couple is totally different from, I would compare them to V&A and Alan. Okay. Those two were eating together. Those two were overweight and obese together. Okay. And they both needed to lose weight. That's a whole totally different dynamic. When you have somebody like Bettie, Joe, and Josh, that guy was really skinny. He was a small stick person. She was not. Okay. And when you see a situation like that where one person is large, the other person is not, the one that isn't usually is, their mindset is, for the most part, is like, I'm not going to eat myself to death, but you are. If you're going to eat yourself to death, I'm not going to stop you, because you're more dependent on me emotionally and for the things that you need more than I would ever be for you. So, hey, he was able to control that situation more because he was the smaller one. She was the heavier one. He wanted to control that shit. And if it wasn't about control, he would have got fat with her. Those two would have been sitting there eating together. They would have been hogs together. They would have been to the point where they just both didn't give a fuck about life, and that just was not the case. Okay, Dr. Now. One thing about Dr. Now, I want to say, Dr. Now is very intelligent man. Very intelligent. He's excellent at reading people. And I'm not talking about intelligent in terms of, obviously he's intelligent book-wise. He's a doctor. He went to school, got his degree. He's performing bariatric surgeries on people that are over 600 pounds. Yeah, okay. So book-wise and, he's got the knowledge, the man-made knowledge, because that's what it is. But, which I'm not knocking. It's man-made, but it's, I'm not knocking it. It's man-made knowledge. But he's very intuitive. He's smart. When he gives his assessment of these people that come onto his show, they are the thoughts I already had before he spoke them. Him and I usually think the same way and have similar assessment about these people. Because, when they go in to see him and then like right after seeing him, they put the camera on Dr. Now. And then Dr. Now speaks on how he saw that cast member. And he's usually correct. And he called this as far as Josh is concerned. But I'll get to that in a minute because I got to go in order in terms of, this episode. All right. So she goes into, how they cast members talk about their childhood. So she goes into how her childhood was. She's been obese ever since 5 years old. She weighed 180 pounds by age of 12. At the age of 13, she was sexually assaulted. She began eating to cope with her sexual assault. Let me just say real quick, and I'm actually going to do a video about this just on this subject. Not any particular cast member, but just on this subject. I'm going to mention a few cast members throughout the video, but it's going to be mainly around, it's going to be centered around sexual abuse. I want to talk about that because I'm not going to name this cast member's name because I said I was not going to give this person any more energy. But I'm using this as an example. Okay, so I got a comment from someone that is a family member of this person. And she says, on the show, she says she was sexually abused and she's going around telling everybody she was molested and it never occurred. That she actually lied about it. And I saw someone talking about this in a Facebook group. They actually brought up the whole, subject of they just did not believe that all of these people are sexually molested, because most of the cast members talk about that. They talk about how they were sexually abused, and this is not all of them, but some of them, about how they used food to cope with that. And we have, there was a girl, she posted in the Facebook discussion group about how she just didn't believe it. And she said, I just don't believe most of these cast members were molested. I think they're lying. The The post got so many comments that the administrator had to she turned the commenting off. She did not allow any more comments because that post really got really serious and heated, and people were throwing insults at each other and things of that nature. I will say this. I think that I think it is true for some of these people. Yes. Do I think that some of them are making it up? It's highly probable, yes, because your mind is already screwed up and fucked up to even get your body to a point of 600 pounds or more, 500 or more. But with your mind already kind of being screwed like that, it's a very high probability that you are really pressed for hard up for attention. Okay, and people that want attention will make up anything just to get attention. And if you're someone that was sexually molested, you do get a lot of sympathy from people when it comes to stuff like that. So if you feel like you could make that up to get sympathy from folk, then you will. And with people having their minds already kind of in a distorted state, to where they've eaten to the point of they've gotten to where they're 600 and something pounds or more. It's possible that some of them, I'm not putting this charge on everybody, but some of them, are making up that kind of stuff. And I do have a family member in my comments that states it was made up. Hopefully it wasn't, because this person was offered sympathy. But sympathy should not be given if it's not just, well, all right, wait a minute. I said, let me just stop. Okay. So it was, I said, I want to clear up something. I said in one of my other videos, that sympathy is a personal choice, and it is. I don't want to make it seem like, I'm saying one thing and then in another video I'm saying another. But let me explain. Okay. Sympathy is a personal choice. You cannot tell somebody who they should and should not feel sorry for. I just made that statement just now because I feel like sympathy, I do feel that sympathy should be based on the truth. If people are giving you sympathy because of a lie that you made up just for the purpose of getting attention, then I cannot rock with that. You know what I mean? Let's go off of facts. Let's go off of what's true. And when it comes to the show, sometimes we don't know what's true or what's not. Me personally, I will say me personally, if I don't think that what you're telling me is the truth, then there will be no sympathy given. I can't. Nobody needs my sympathy. Nobody has to have it. Nobody lives off of it. But at the same time, that's what these people are looking for. They're looking for a lot of them. Not all. I don't want to categorize everybody. But a lot of people are looking for sympathy, okay? And if I don't feel that you're being completely honest as far as what's going on, then I cannot offer sympathy. I don't think it would be right to play on people's sympathy. I think that's more or less what I'm trying to say. Don't try to get sympathy from people if your story is not valid, So with Betty Jo's situation here, and she's saying that she was sexually assaulted, and that's what caused her to eat. That's what pretty much just had me go off, onto that subject and speak on that a little bit. I'm not going to, talk about that throughout the whole video, but it just, I went off onto that because, this part of the episode is just what reminded me of that subject. People can feel sorry for whomever they want. If they want to feel sorry for people that have even lied about their situation, fine. But I just don't think it's right for that person to try to play on people's sympathy with bullshit and lies. I mean, that's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so moving on. She met Josh at the age of 17, and she was 400 pounds. And that's basically what I was saying in the beginning of this review. She was 400 pounds, and she was not as heavy then when she met Josh as she was in the episode. Okay, so she was heavy, but they were probably able to do more, even in that bedroom, honey. She probably was able to do a little more positions than she could at 600 pounds. Don't pay me no mind. I'm a fool. I mean, sometimes I just, That's the ghetto girl in me, I guess. I think we all got a little bit of ghetto in us, just a little teeny bit. Especially if you were. I'm from Baltimore. Good Lord, happy not to be there no more. Down here in Nashville, happy not to be there no more. Well, they say you can take the child out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the child, and I think sometimes I'm a perfect example of that. I try to simmer it down. Getting older, getting more serious about life, so I'm trying to simmer that down a little bit. Okay, all right, so moving on. She said she tried to kill herself and she was hospitalized for a while. Now, I will speak on that. I don't, if a person really want to kill themselves, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. If a person really wants to succeed in suicide, when it comes to suicide, they're going to do it. I don't think she was serious. I think that might have been just a cry for help. If a person attempts to kill themselves, but doesn't, and does not succeed at it, it was a cry for help. They wanted some attention. If you really want to kill yourself, you're gonna kill yourself. That's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's too many ways to do it, to where if you don't succeed the first time, you're gonna succeed the second time. If you're really serious about taking your life and you're that unhappy to where you don't want to live. I don't believe she said that, but I don't believe that was it. She probably did. She probably tried, or she probably attempted. And I don't think she really wanted to do that stuff, man. It was a cry for help. It was a cry for help. So the next scene, grocery shopping. She's buying all these bad foods. She says she hates going out in public. People are looking at her. They all say that. Just about every cast member says that. They hate going out in the public because they don't like to be viewed, like, oh, look at that fat person. Well, hey, your issue was self-inflicted. Regardless of your reason why, you still did it. You know what I mean? So, okay. All right, so moving on. Josh admits to enabling her. I have to respect his honesty on that. He admits to, being somebody that he just keeps feeding her and feeding her and feeding her. It's like the significant others on the show. Make up your fucking mind, okay? You say you admit to enabling them because, well, they don't. It's very rare that they admit to enabling them for control. But he admits to enabling her because he wants to feel needed. That is a form of control. He won't actually say that. He's not going to actually say it's control, but it's a form of control. Okay, so he admits to enabling her, but this is my thing. If you know you're enabling her, and you know you're overfeeding her so that she can get big and stay big, but then on the flip side of things, you're talking about you worrying about whether or not she's going to die, you should already know that consistently feeding her like that, at some point, if it doesn't stop, she's going to die. So Make up your mind. What do you want to do? Do you want your woman in your life? Do you want her there with you to live and be healthy and y'all, live a long life? Or do you want to continue feeding her just so that you can feel needed and have this control because you're a weak, low self-esteem motherfucker? That's, I just don't get that. Okay. So Billy Joe, her cousin, is basically, she's talking about, she's letting my 600-pound life know throughout the voiceovers and when they actually put the camera on her, that she's concerned that her cousin's going to die. Yeah. Yeah, I think she was, how old was she? She was 24 years old when this episode aired. You've got to have some type of real serious psychological issue to be that big at only 24 years old. You know what? I'm 39. I'm almost 40. Okay, and I have never been over 200 pounds, ever. I actually would like to pick up a couple pounds. Before I came to Nashville, I was a size 7. And that's equivalent to about 135 pounds. Okay. So I gained some weight when I came here, but I was actually happy with it. Everybody struggles with their weight. Well, almost everybody. You got some people that don't like being as big as they are. You got some people that don't like being as small as they are. I was not content with being that small. Okay, I wanted to gain some weight. But even with wanting to gain weight, which is the point I'm trying to make, I still have never been over 200 pounds, ever. I'm still in the 100s, okay? You know, I wanted to gain a little weight. I wanted to put a little extra meat on these bones, but, you know, I felt like I was too skinny to be a black girl. Please don't take that as racist, because it's not. I'm just, you have to be able to take the joke. Like, you can't be sensitive with this channel, you know, because I'm gonna say sometimes all kinds of shit gonna fly out my mouth. But I just felt for a colored girl from the hood. I just felt that I was just too small. I need a little bit of meat, you know what I mean? I've always been top heavy, but just never, you know, the thighs were all skinny and stick leg and all that type of shit. I needed some meat on these bones, you heard me. But even with that, I've never been over 200 pounds. So I say all of that to say that at 24 years old, that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to be 24 years old, 600 pounds. I had 2 pregnancies. 2. And still never even been half that weight. Ever. So, yeah, that's, you got something's going on. Something's going on psychologically up here. And you don't have to be a psychologist or whatever, or a therapist or psychiatrist, whatever you want to call it, you know, a mental health specialist, whatever, to know that that's just common sense. Something's going on up here. Something is off. Something's not wired right. If you're not even 25 years old and you over 600 pounds, there's a problem there. Okay, so moving on. Next scene, they get on the road to go to Houston. Okay, he admits again that he's afraid that he admits it. He if she loses the weight, she's gonna leave him. So he's scared. You know, people control who they need. And control comes out of fear. When you're afraid, you try to control the situation because there's a fear there. Okay. That's why he always kept her big, because he felt that if she lost the weight and got really small, her confidence would come back. Or if she ever had it in the first place, because she's always been heavyset. She's always been big ever since age 5, according to her, which is, I believe that. So he feels like if he always kept her heavy, he'd have her in a place where she'd always be around, and he wouldn't be lonely, and he wouldn't be without her. Okay, that confidence is gonna come. Confidence kicks in when you got. When you go from big to small, you get confidence like you ain't never had before in your life. Or if you like what I like me, if you go from skinny to a couple of little curves now, you got a little booty, little thighs, all that kind of stuff. You know, you get a little confidence when you get to the weight that you want to be. Whether you're going from skinny to fat or fat to skinny, your confidence it boosts. So yeah, so that's he admitted that, and I got to give him credit for that. He admitted it. He told the truth. He says, I don't want her to leave. She's gonna leave me if she get too small. Okay, so it's a 13-hour drive. When she gets down to Dr. Now, she weighs in at 654 pounds, 654.8 to be exact. So you might as well say round it off 655. Dr. Now gets on husband for being an enabler. He's feeding her, but he's not overweight. He wants her to be large. Absolutely. That's what I said. And that's what the doctor said. Right. I mean, this guy looks like a walking stick person. I mean, he about that little. He's about that little. Okay. And she's about this big. You know, this big. Okay. And yeah. He's not going to overeat to fuck up his frame, but he definitely going to make sure she overeats to fuck up her frame so that it can feed his selfish, self-centered insecurities. You bastard. You bastard. Okay. So, because I don't like guys like that. You're a bastard. You're a bastard. You do some stuff like that. Okay. So, she says she needs Josh to help her. And she needs for them two to be a team. So they rent an apartment in Houston before even being approved. She moves in. I don't know why they do that shit. I don't know why these cast members they move to Houston before even being told they're going to get surgery. What if you're one of those types that's not going to go through with the program? Not saying that you can't. I'm not saying that it's not capable for you to go through with the program, but there's some cast members that don't. We have some that don't. Okay, now, she did. Betty Jo, eventually she did, but we have some cast members that don't. Let me move on because I'm already 30 minutes into this shit, and I can't go over 45 minutes. That'll be just too much. I don't want to do that. So, all right, let me move on. Okay, so by month 2, she's dieting, exercising. Josh is somewhat helping. By month 3, they go in for another weigh-in. Dr. Now, 599 pounds, so she lost 55 pounds. So Dr. Now, she did good. So Dr. Now congratulates her. Josh expresses to Dr. Now that he feels useless. Admits that he feels bothered that she needs him less. So Dr. Now, he says, Josh, did that bother you? Dr. Now actually asked him and had somewhat of a grin on his face. Josh, does that bother you? You know why I think Dr. Now was grinning? Because he already knew. He called it. He was spot on. He knew it. He could tell from the very first visit with them that he wanted her to be fat because his self-esteem depended on her being overweight and her self-esteem being low. That made him feel powerful. It made him feel more and upbeat more than what he was. That's a sorry motherfucker. I'm telling you, if your self-esteem depends on somebody else's low self-esteem, you really need to evaluate yourself. Take a long, hard look at yourself and fix that shit. Because you're gonna have a problem for the rest of your life. Okay, so she gets approved for the surgery. Next scene, surgery. Josh is waiting in the waiting area. He's worried. He says he hopes the surgery goes well. I think a part of him was worried. I don't think he wanted her to die, But still, he was contributing to that shit, He wasn't helping. Of course, she physically put the food in her mouth. She did it to herself, yes, but he was bringing it to her. He was purposely feeding her. He was like a feeder. It was like his fetish, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they was doing anything sexually, but that was his fetish, you know what I'm saying? To his self-esteem. Okay. So first night after surgery, Josh promised he'd stay, but did not. Expresses that without his support, she doubts that she'll make it. He was not with her the night after surgery, and I thought that was wrong. This is your mate. Why are you not there? She went through major surgery. She could have died. Why weren't you there? Bastard. Okay, so by month 4, she's 598 pounds. She's 56 pounds down. Josh cooks, and he's not cooking healthy meals. He's not cooking healthy meals. He's not. I think he's purposely cooking fucked up in front of her to try to get her to go back to where she was, to get her to retract. These men on here, I swear. We have. There was one female that I remember that was on the show, and she was kind of like that. Her name was June. Sadie, June's girlfriend. Well, they were lesbians, so of course it was another girl, but she had the mentality of a man in a relationship that just didn't want their significant other to lose the weight. So, whatever. Okay, so, by month 5, Betty Jo is having trouble breathing. She's rushed to the hospital. I mean, reality set in for this man. When he started to see that, she was having issues not with the surgery, with just being overweight overall, he goes bananas. Is somebody going to get a EMT? You going to get a 911? Call somebody over here to get my motherfucking wife. I mean, he went in. You understand what I'm saying? Drastic times call for drastic measures. Is that the saying? Is that? Let me Google it. Let me Google that. I think that's the saying. Drastic times. Correct. I was right. Yay! Yay me. Yes. Drastic times call for drastic measures. Okay. So I I'm not saying the guy was all bad, okay? He loved her in his own weird, strange, sick, fucked up kind of a motherfucking way. But he did show some concern when when she couldn't breathe, okay? And drastic times call for drastic measures. That brother did what he had to do in order to get somebody to come. EMT right now. Somebody call 911. Get some help for my goddamn wife. Okay. That's what that was. So anyway, she gets rushed to the hospital. I got to wrap this up. 35 minutes in. She gets rushed to the hospital. She had a heat stroke. Doctor says if she didn't come in, she would have died. So Josh did the right thing. He expressed that he was scared. All right, so I'll give him credit for that. He saved his wife. All right, so he saved his wife. Weighed in at the hospital, and she had lost no weight. She had, she went backwards. She was retracting. She started eating fucked up again. Okay. Doctor says she should have lost at least 60 pounds. Admits to the doctor that she has been eating. Correct. Okay. So she cries as the doctor tells her she's close to dying. Cries about how her husband purposely buys junk and will not support the diet. That part, I give him credit for some things, but not all. He did the right thing in terms of, make sure the EMT or 911 was called and she got rushed to the hospital, fire department, whoever took her to the hospital, whoever, But still, he started feeding her again because he was just getting too scared that she was losing too much weight and he was going to lose her. So at that part right there, you're an asshole for that. Let that woman get well. She trying to lose weight. Support her in doing the right thing. Come on now. Please. Okay. So she goes to psychotherapy. Santi Parasamy, that's the therapist's name here. She was okay. I mean, she not Lola and she not Dr. Paradise. I think those two were the best two on the show as far as therapists. But okay, she was all right. So she talks about her troubles in her marriage and he admits that he's afraid she'll leave because she's beginning to get around on her own. So she doesn't need him anymore. Okay, so this is the infamous scene. This is actually the best scene in the show. It really focuses more on their relationship opposed to her trying to lose weight. Okay, so Betty Jo tells the therapist that she was raped when she was smaller and being bigger keeps her from being touched. I'm not going to speak on that because I'm going to do a whole video on molestation, so I ain't even going to speak on that part. Okay, so talks about, I already spoke enough on that in this episode. Talks about, on this review, talks about how that is a problem for her and the marriage, and they're not intimate because of it. They're not intimate because of what she endured as far as sexual abuse. No, they're not intimate because she's 600-something pounds. That's what that is. I mean, she, come on now. Let's keep it 100. I'm not going to say that didn't play a significant role. Probably, but it's more of the weight. She can't do shit. You know what I mean? So, okay. They have no intimacy. She talks about that. Okay, and Josh doesn't want her bringing that up. This was the classic part of the episode. Okay, so this was the most dramatic, interesting part. Well, not most interesting part, but it was like you got me glued to the TV. Like really, I'm watching this shit. I want to see what's gonna happen next. So he jumps up and storms out of the session. I don't want to talk about this. That's a very sensitive subject for me. I don't want to talk about this. Okay. So in the voiceover, she says the topic was too emotional for him. Had to leave out and get some air. Well, he says that. He says, I had to leave out and get some air. It was too emotional of a subject. He comes back in and resumes the session. The therapist can see that the relationship is dependent on the weight. Duh. We know that. We come on now. Well, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that, okay, the only reason why he really fucking with her like that is because she big. And then if she gets small, he feel like his control is lost. Okay. So, all right. So, that's why I said her therapy session was, come on, you stating the obvious. Come on, pull out something that we may not know. You know what I mean? Like, Lola does that. Lola's real good at that. She's good at, putting a spotlight on things that we may not have seen. Or something we may not have even, it's thought-provoking. She'll okay, this could possibly be the issue. Oh, well, I never thought of that. Makes you think. You know what I'm saying? Lola's good for that. And so was Dr. Paradise. Dr. Paradise did the same. This Santi, what the fuck is her name? Santi Parasamy. Okay. She was all right, but she wasn't all that. I got to keep it 100. I'm telling you how I saw the episode, right? Got to keep it 100 with you. Okay. So, Betty Jo says she loves him and she won't leave him. But in the beginning of the episode, you weren't sure. Remember that? Remember she said she wasn't sure if she's with him because she loved him or she's with him just because he's a caretaker. Now she's saying she loves him. She don't know. She don't know what she wants. Next weigh-in, 568 pounds. She was down 86 pounds, so she lost more weight. Next scene, several months down, Josh finally helps her, takes her to the gym. Next scene, they travel back to Missouri to visit family. First time they've seen family in 9 months. So she wanted to show the family just how well she was doing. And they saw the difference. They said, well, you're walking. You weren't even walking before. You're doing great. Like, we applaud you. Yay. I think it was the aunt and the grandfather of Betty Jo. Okay. So, by month 10, she volunteers. She does some type of volunteer work preparing food baskets, which I thought was really nice. I mean, if you weren't getting paid for it, even if you were getting paid for it, it would still be nice. But volunteering makes it extra special because you don't care about money. You just want to help. So that's good. So she's getting out doing more things. She's more active. By month 11, she goes on a date with her husband. He says he'll not be afraid of her leaving him anymore. He's getting used to her losing the weight. Bullshit. Okay. You still with her because you've been with her so long. The only chick you ever really was like fucking around with, but you don't want her losing weight. If you could get her back to 600 pounds, if you could get her to 50 million pounds, you would, because just to be able to, well, of course we know that's not realistic. Yeah, I'm just playing, but if he could do that, then he would, because hello, I mean, he that's what his self-esteem is dependent on a fat girl. Okay, so by month 12, she weighs in 498 pounds. So she did very well. She lost 157 pounds. Dr. Now is pleased. This concludes the episode. Okay. All right. I want to thank you all for watching my videos. I'm not going to hold you anymore. Peace and blessings. Okay. Who's up next? Alicia's story. I will be reviewing that. I'm sorry. Getting a little tongue-tied, trying to wrap this shit up fast. I'll be reviewing Alicia's episode next. And then I got a request to do Marla's, but Marla's will come after LB Bonner. So we have James B, LB, well, no, we have Alicia, then James B, LB Bonner, and then Marla. Marla's is going to be a little difficult to do because she did a real good job. She lost a lot of weight. But I'm just going to review how the episode went. All right, that's it. I'm gone. Peace and blessings. I love you. Check me out, and please subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on the net.